In Gaza, Hamas fighters are reasserting control over areas that Israeli forces have vacated, raising concerns that the group may refuse to step aside in line with the peace plan. The durability of the ceasefire is also being tested by Israel, which delayed the reopening of the Rafah border crossing into Gaza. Officials cited Hamas's failure to return the bodies of all 28 deceased hostages as agreed, and a warning that this report contains images that some viewers may find disturbing.
After the joyful homecomings earlier in the day, these ones were silent. 4 coffins carried the remains of Israeli hostages who didn't survive. They were brought to a forensic institute here in Tel Aviv for identification. As soldiers saluted, muted cries broke the silence. The release of the living hostages went smoothly. Though Hamas had warned it couldn't locate all of the deceased, just 4 of the 28 were returned.
There is clear indication that this might take much more time because of the difficulty to find the human remains in Gaza in particular. That's the case for the human remains of hostages, but in general, human remains, as we've discussed before, that may be under the rubble, considering the intensity of the conflict over the last days.
Tonight, Hamas pledged to return the remains of 4 others. Despite frustrations in Israel, this issue, for now at least, won't collapse the ceasefire. What's happening inside Gaza, however, is another story. Hamas is tightening its grip, publicly executing rivals it claims are Israeli collaborators. On the streets of Gaza City today, Hamas fighters made their presence known. All signs pointing to a consolidation of control, even as Hamas tells mediators it will step aside. But the question of future governance will feel remote to ordinary Gazans. Their priority is more immediate: survival. The Red Cross said there had not yet been a surge in aid deliveries. Trucks are waiting in Egypt as Israel delayed plans to open the border crossing. It is a familiar story. Gazans, now experts in waiting for help that never quite arrives.
And Edmund joins us now from Tel Aviv. Edmund, the peace plan envisages an international force in Gaza to maintain security, but until it is in place, there's a vacuum and vacuums get filled.
Yes, David, there is a genuine power vacuum in Gaza right now. And as you say, someone has to fill it. You can't have a territory with 2 million people and no governance and security, especially after 2 years of brutal war that have destroyed basically every institution in the enclave. Right now, Hamas is filling it by default, partly because it's one of the only organised forces in the enclave, and partly because the alternative has not yet materialised. As you said, David, Donald Trump's plan envisions the creation of a multinational reassurance force, as well as a technocratic administration to govern Gaza. Neither exists yet. So in the absence of those, Hamas is patrolling the streets of Gaza. Now, the problem here is timing, David. The longer this vacuum persists, the more Hamas will entrench itself, embed itself in Gaza. It's not, and the problem also is that it's not just maintaining order in Gaza, it's eliminating rivals, it's consolidating control, and by the time an international reassurance force arrives, Hamas may be too entrenched in Gaza to dislodge from control of the Strip. But there is a deeper issue as well about legitimacy as to who governs Gaza. There needs to be legitimacy among Palestinians and not just international backing. The Palestinian Authority, which controls the West Bank, is not well regarded in Gaza, support around 15% according to recent polls, and Hamas is totally discredited after the past 2 years of war. So there is a real question not just about who maintains order today in Gaza, but who has the legitimacy to govern Gaza in the long run. And David, right now, we don't have a good answer to that question.
Deputy Foreign Editor Edmund Heafy in Tel Aviv, thank you for that.